Hello everyone, in this video we are going to be making a deployment pipeline on AWS using AWS CodePipeline. So there's a lot of moving parts in this project and it did take me quite a while to figure out how to get everything working. So let me explain to you what we have going on here. So we have a GitHub repo, and this GitHub repo is going to contain our source code for our Lambda functions and also for our pipeline itself. So this pipeline that we have in the center here that's going to be within this AWS account is going to be defined through CDK code that exists in this repo. And then we're going to set it up such that whenever you commit to this GitHub repo, it's going to publish to an AWS Lambda function in a test environment. And after that, we're going to have a manual approval step where a person needs to come in and just review the change before deploying that code into a production environment. And again, we have an AWS Lambda function over here as well. Now, this is just using Lambdas, but you can add some other configuration here, other infrastructure, like maybe something your Lambda depends on, like a DynamoDB table or something else like that. But this is a pretty good starter template, and I'm going to show you all the steps in between, all the things that I struggled with. So let's head over into the code and get into it. All right, everyone. So just a couple of prerequisites that you need to have sorted out before doing this tutorial. You're going to need to have CDK installed. You're going to need to have NPM installed, and you're going to need an empty GitHub repository that doesn't have anything in it. Now, if this is your first time using CDK, you're going to want to run this command here, or these two commands rather. So you're just exporting an environment variable here. This is if you're on Mac. If you're on Windows, you want to use set instead of export. And then you're just using a bootstrap command here with your account ID and your region. I'll make this stuff available so you can copy this out here and you don't have to copy it out of the video. But just run this command first. It's going to bootstrap your environment so that CDK can make changes to your account on your behalf. And then obviously you're going to need a repo. Mine is this one. You're going to want to clone your repo onto your local and then just switch directories into that repo. So once you've done all that, you should be set up. So open up your terminal now. And the next thing we want to do is just initialize, what's going on there? Clear. We want to initialize our project, our CDK project. We're going to use the command CDK init app, and we're going to say language TypeScript. And depending on your internet speed, this may take a little bit. There's quite a few NPM dependencies that it needs to install, but you can start to see some of the files being propagated here as the installation occurs. Now, one thing that took me a really long time to figure out and learn is that this code pipeline construct, the CDK construct we're going to use, does not work with CDK version 2.9.0. And by default, you will have version 2.9.0 installed. So the first thing that you need to do after you install your project here, get it initially set up, first of all, you want to delete your package.json because by default, it's going to have version lock onto 2.9, which we cannot use. Then you're going to want to go into your package.json file. Let me just lower this here. And then you want to change under dev dependencies, AWS CDK to 2.8.0. And under dependencies, AWS CDK lib to 2.8.0 as well. So you do not want 2.9 here. And then you're just going to go back to your terminal and run npm install, which will generate a new package lock file, which will be used in our project. Now, this was something that took me forever to figure out. There wasn't any good documentation as to why this problem is what it is, but I just found a open GitHub issue where someone was having this issue as well, and someone from the CDK team let them know that unfortunately there's a compatibility issue right now. All right, so once you have that set up, you're going to want to go into your bin directory. And there's a file here. It depends on the name of your project. So whatever you named your directory, mine was called this, CI/CD AWS Pipeline Demo. The name of your file here will be the same thing or something very, very similar. And what you need to do here, and I'm just going to actually drop in the code that I have on the side. It's just some boilerplate stuff that we need to do. Just delete all that and paste, and then I'll explain. So just doing some imports up here, nothing special. We are creating an instance of our application. There's only ever one CDK application. We're creating a new instance of our stack. Our stack, this is actually in a different file, which I'll show you in a second, but we're passing it a environment variable that has the account number that we're going to be using for this pipeline, this is my account number, and the region, which is US East 1. So make sure that you change this stuff as well, or else this isn't going to work. And then finally, there's app.synth here, which basically bootstraps the whole process. All right, so what is this thing? We're creating a new instance of it, and what are we doing? Like, what does this stuff represent? So if you go into your lib directory, that's where this class is defined. And currently, it's basically empty. It's just a section where you're going to add all the details of your CDK pipeline. So again, I'm going to go into my other file here and just grab this because I already figured out most of it. So let me just delete this and paste this in and just add some closing brackets there. Okay. All right, so, and then I just need to remove this because we don't want to assign this to a variable, or else when we run this, it's not going to work correctly, at least the first time. So what is, and just comment this out here, what is actually happening here? So we are creating a new code pipeline, which is a construct. We're giving it a name called test pipeline. You can name this whatever you want. We're adding a new synthesis shell step, and it's going to be pointed at our GitHub repository. So mine in this case is Be a Better Dev. That's the author name, and then / the repo name. Now I also added a comment as well that you need to remember to change this. Obviously make this point to your directory. And then as part of the build step for this pipeline, it's gonna do npm install, it's gonna run the build, and it's gonna synthesize whatever we have in this CloudFormation to generate a self-mutating pipeline. So that's basically the flow here. Now what we need to do is commit our code to our GitHub repository. So unfortunately my CLI is messed up. So I need to use this UI here. So let's just say initial commit, not really initial, but we're setting some stuff up, but that's fine. Let's commit, let's push that. Okay, so now that is, what is going on? I don't care about this, please. There we go. All right, so once you dropped in this code here, one thing that we do need to do is we need to give AWS and GitHub, or we need to create a relationship. In other words, we need to create a token that has permissions that AWS can leverage that will give us the correct access to our GitHub repository. And this was something that I fumbled with quite a bit using this tutorial. We're using a tutorial, and there was no real good documentation over this. I had to figure it out over the course of a couple hours, but basically we need to go into GitHub. So open up your browser, go into GitHub, and we need to generate a access token. And that access token, we're going to create a secret in AWS that is going to contain that token so that CodePipeline can use that, or CDK can use that. So go into your account here, and you're going to go to the top right once you're signed in, go to settings, and then scroll all the way to the bottom where it says developer settings. And you're going to go to personal access tokens. And you can see here, I already have an access token, and it has the scopes admin repo hook and just repo. So let me just show you how to do this really quick. So you're going to click on generate a new token, and then you can give it a name, whatever you want it to be here. You're going to check this box here where it says repo, and the one where it says repo hook. And then you're going to go to the bottom here and click on generate token. Now, once you've done that, it's going to spit out a string that's like 32 characters or something like that. You're going to want to go back to the AWS console, type in secret to go in the secrets manager. And you're going to need to create a key or a secret that looks like this. The name is GitHub-token. By default, this is what CDK is going to use when it performs, or when it handshakes that link between GitHub and AWS. So in order to create one, you're going to want to go to store a new secret. I already have one, obviously, so I'm not going to go through all the steps here. I'll just show you. You're going to want to click other type of secrets. You're going to want to go to plain text and remove all this, and you just put in your token here, just in plain text. And then you can just click on next and, do whatever you want here, fill out all the options. Make sure this is GitHub-token for you, but I'm obviously not doing that because I already have it created. So make sure you do this, or else you're going to get an error during the deployment step, and it's going to take you hours to figure out what is wrong. All right, so assuming that you set up this token correctly, what you need to do now is go back into your terminal. We are going to run the command CDK deploy. Obviously, this is after you committed all of this code into your GitHub. Now, what CDK deploy is going to do at this step is that it's going to create an initial version of our code pipeline that has this link with our GitHub repository, and it's going to also create some other infrastructure that CodePipeline needs as well. So you can see it spits out a warning here. Do you want to deploy these changes? It's showing us what it's going to deploy. It's going to create all this stuff. That's why it's green. You're going to go ahead and click on yes now. And you're going to see in a moment here, yeah, it's creating a CloudFormation change set. Then you're going to see a stream of updates as they occur on your AWS account. So if you open up your other tab here and you go to CloudFormation now in your AWS account, we should be able to see some of the action that's going on as part of that CDK deploy command. So you see here we have a stack name that's the correct name of our project. We see it's in create in progress. And if you go to events and then again change this to type, we're going to add the type here so we can see that it's, what type it is. This is where you're going to see everything stream here in terms of all the resources being created for our pipeline. So this will take a minute or two. I'm just going to fast forward this really quick so you don't have to watch it, and I'll come back when it's all done. All right, guys, so everything got created successfully here. Let's go into, actually I'm going to open up another tab so we can come back here later. Let's go to CodePipeline now and just check this out. We should see that it does have a pipeline created. Yeah, so pipelines, test pipeline, and it is currently doing something. So you see here, it is correctly linked to the source step. This is our GitHub repository, and it shows you that commit, right, that we just did a couple minutes ago. And I believe, it's auto refresh. So it's currently going through the build process for our CloudFormation code. And in a moment or so, you're going to see it's going to do the update pipeline step as well. Now, all of this is going to succeed. We haven't changed anything with our code pipeline, but in the next step, we're going to add a couple stages, add our Lambda function. So it's going to have a couple more details here, a couple more steps that'll be visible to you as well whenever this is all done. All right, so we're going to let this go. It doesn't really matter, but what you want to make sure is that this succeeds eventually. So you want to make sure that this step succeeds and the update pipeline succeeds, or else you had a problem with your code when you initially set this up. So maybe wait for this. And all right, so it took a couple minutes, but it finally succeeded. The build is done and the update pipeline step is also done. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to go back into our code and let's just clean a bunch of this stuff out here. And what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and create our Lambda stack. So I'm going to go into the lib directory over here, and we're going to use a separate file for our Lambda stack just to keep everything nice and clean and separated. And we're just going to call this lambda-stack.ts. Okay, so now I'm just going to drop in some code again. I'm going to explain this all to you now. Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on here. So we have our Lambda stack that you can name this any arbitrary thing that you want. We have our default constructor here. The one thing that I want to draw your attention to is we're taking an in stage name. This is going to be relevant later because we're going to have a test and a production environment for our Lambda function. And we want to set an environment variable inside of our Lambda function so that it knows what stage it's in. So for example, like our test version of our Lambda function should know that it's in test because it may want to talk to a different database, whereas our production one wants to know it's in prod, so it'll know to connect to the production database, so on and so forth. So you can see here I left a couple comments. So we're doing new function, we're using Node.js, we're using a handler file with a entry point function name called the handler, and that's actually one of our next steps to go and create this handler file. And the code is going to be from asset. It's going to be from a directory that is called Lambda, which I need to create right after this. And then in the environment variables section, we're passing in a variable called stage name, and it's equal to whatever gets passed into this constructor. Now this will make more sense in a second when we add those two test and production stages. But before we do that, I want to create the Lambda code. So I'm going to say new folder. We need to call this Lambda. And then just to respect this, we need to call the file handler.ts, and we need to have a function called handler as well. So inside that Lambda folder, we're going to say new file, call this make sure you spell this right, handler.ts. And again, let me just paste this in so you don't have to watch me type for half an hour. And okay. So for this, again, we have it as a function name called handler that is consistent with what we had in the previous step. We're taking in an event and a context variable. First thing we're going to do is console.log the stage name, and then we're just going to return just an empty function, basically. This doesn't really do anything. This is just for demonstration purposes. Okay, so that's set up now. What is our next step? Our next step is to set up our stages. Our stages are going to be our test and production stages. So we need to create a file that encapsulates that behavior. So inside of your lib directory, I'm going to create a new file. We're going to call this stage.ts. And let me drop this in over here just to show you. So as part of each of our stages, we're going to create a Lambda stack, right? A Lambda function for the test stage and the production stage. So we are just extending the cdk.stage construct here. And then we're saying const Lambda stack is equal to new Lambda stack. Again, we're passing through that stage name, which is coming from the top level. So where is stage name actually defined now? So finally, we need to go back into our initial directory or file that we created here, which is our directory stack or our code pipeline stack. We're going to say const pipeline is equal to new code pipeline. Now we need to add some stages to it, right? We need to add our testing stage and we need to add our prod stage and also that manual step that's going to occur in between those two things. So let me just paste this in here, scrolling down, and let's take a look at what we got. And of course I need to remove this comment or else the import's not going to work. And so we are adding a testing stage. We're doing pipeline.addStage, and this is where I'm passing in that stage name, and it's flowing all the way into the Lambda function into the environment variables. So test is being passed in. We're giving it the account that we want to use, and you can have different accounts here if you want, which is probably the best architecture choice to have your testing stage and your prod stage in different accounts, but I'm using the same one here. After testing, we want to add a post step, which is just a manual approval step. And I named this, manual approval before production. This is going to cause someone to have to go and click in the code pipeline console to make sure everything's okay before production is deployed. And that's basically it. That's all the stuff that we really need to do here. Let me just check and make sure. Yeah, we have our handler, we have our pipeline set up, we have our stack, and we have our stage. Yep, this looks good. So let's just go back into Git here. Let's say initializing Lambda, and we're going to commit that. And we're going to push this, and then we're going to go back into code pipeline. Now we should see this updates from successful to in progress. It should have detected the new build from GitHub. And you can see it already did actually, and it's already building. That was really, really fast. You can see initializing Lambda. So the same commitment message that I just typed in a moment or so ago. So you're going to see this is going to build again. And then when it gets to the update pipeline step, you're going to see the shape of the pipeline is going to change. We're going to have that test stage. We're going to have that production stage. We're going to have that approval step. So I'm going to again fast forward this and show you what it looks like when it's all done. So just a quick update here. It finally got to the update pipeline step, and you can see now there's a couple other steps that are showing up as well. However, we didn't get to the stage yet where the build is going through all of these steps yet. So again, I'll fast forward this when this is all done. All right, guys, so it took a little bit of time to get through the entire pipeline, but you can see here we have a bunch of different things going on here. So you can see we got to the asset stage. We also got to the test stage. We got to the prepare stage for our Lambda stack. We deployed our test stage for our Lambda function. Now we are on our manual approval step before we go to prod. So I'm going to go ahead and click on review now. This is that manual check that we need to do. You can just click on here. If there was a comment, you can see it here. I'm just going to go ahead and click on approve. And you can see in a moment or so, this should update, but maybe while it's doing that, let's go over into Lambda to take a look at our function that we should have created in our test environment. So if we just do last modified here, yeah, so 2 minutes ago, we created our test function here. This is for the test environment. I'm going to click on this one, and let's just check out our code to make sure it is what we said. It is. We did console log stage name, and we have hello from Lambda function. You can go ahead and test this out if you really want to. Let's check our environment variables to make sure that we got that test staging name in there. Where is it? Environment variables, and you see stage name and test. So everything worked correctly. And in a couple moments or so, we should see this deployed to production as well. And you'll see the same thing in the Lambda function as well. We'll just have a separate Lambda function for prod. So this is what the pipeline looks like at the end. Maybe I'll just zoom out so you can see like more of it. I don't know, that's way too small actually. But maybe as a next step, what I would probably do is add a unit test step after the build so that before it tries to update everything here, you just run some unit tests for your Lambda function, or maybe that should belong like over here or something like that. If you want to see that, let me know in the comment section. I'll try making that video. But if you like this video and you want to see more on CodePipeline, please let me know. This is an area that I'm exploring as of late. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.